Oh yeah, so when will the people start hearing? Like you'll just
We're not doing it now. This is just us.
This is just for us.
Oh, they're not listening to the podcast.
No.
They're listening. They're here for the show.
Yeah.
Oh, so we just look like a few losers in the corner,
Exactly.
or at least we're laughing, so it looks like we're having a good time. I was like, okay, we're doing a live podcast. This will be cool. Oh, okay.
That's why we wanted you to come earlier.
I didn't even understand. Okay. Now I get it.
Like, I actually said to him, it'd be cool if they could all hear us do the podcast. That'd be fun, but we can't.
Because I was going to do that before. I was going to do like, we were going to do like an afternoon one. Like, we were going to do a comedy show at night, and then people come over, the same people come, and they watch that comic I had brought in, and they have like a hangover show, and you drink beer and clam and Caesars.
Yeah, we'll eventually want to start doing it like live podcasts, but you need a bunch more equipment to do that.
Yeah, it seems like you already got enough right now. Holyshit.com.
It's just little stuff. It's little stuff here and there.
I was okay. Now, these earbuds are awesome. So this podcast will have this like light music, and they're like mingling in the background. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it, and then we're gonna post it later on YouTube, and we'll share it, and you'll share it, and everything.
Boom.
It'll be
Sounds
great.
good.
Okay. This has been a process.
Oh, I know. And I get scared if you get someone like who's busy and mildly famous, and you're like, oh, sorry, that never recorded. So I started off like just recording them on an app.
Yeah.
And then like it was like cutting out, and I didn't even know what the person was saying. They'd be like, oh, and then I couldn't hear anything. And it was a crazy night. And I was like, shit, don't even know where to reply with that one. And then I don't want to be like, hey man, do you mind redoing that on your busy schedule? Mm-hmm.
So what's your podcast called?
Tick with a side of tets. So Tedarenko, who would have played, and it's not Tits. It's like Tick is my nickname, TIC, and then Tets is Tedarenko, who would have played Zone 8 with Nathan and all together at SAS First, the other Joey Tedarenko. So, and I said side of Tets because I never knew when he'd be around.
So is it like a comedy podcast, or is it a hockey podcast, or is it just a whatever?
It's both. So I didn't want to pigeonhole like just comedy, just hockey. So. But I've got more hockey connections than I do comedy connections. So it's sports heavy, I guess.
Well, that's kind of what our podcast is. It's just whatever. We just talk about, it's like almost like Seinfeld. We just talk about nothing.
Perfect. That's what I like too.
Crushing beers on a Saturday night. And what did you do? And
I like doing other people's podcasts because then I don't have to prepare anything. I don't have to have any equipment. And then you have to, whatever the questions, then I just talk. So
Well, we're not real great at being prepared with questions. That's why we talk about whatever comes up in conversation. It makes us good conversation.
I hope this is recorded and it's just an hour of us like prepping for the podcast that it's done. And then I'll do another one. Hey, is there another bar? Is there 2 bars in Tisdale?
There actually is 2 bars in Tisdale.
Bars bumping tonight, eh?
Yeah, because we were playing hockey and I had the 9-year-old and they wouldn't let us in. Was this the bar they were in or was it a different one? It seems like it was a different one. Or did they bar hop? I don't know. Okay. Good job on 2 bars.
You took your 9-year-old to the bar at a trip?
No, they wouldn't let me in. So my wife was like afternoon drinking. I was milling about trying to go to your thrift shop, but it wasn't open.
But it's popping because everybody's here to see you.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yep, good times.
Uh-huh.
So have you been doing a lot of comedy?
Yeah, I
lately?
have. And my March is like crazy busy, which is good because I was fucking sucking slew water for COVID.
Well, so we were going to ask, like, how did that go over COVID? When did you start getting back into it?
Like, out of a lot of comics, I was still going pretty good because I sassed it up. Sask is so good in, I started doing, like, people's shops because you get Saskatchewan, so everyone's got a shop. They started doing, like, farms. They started doing, like, 30 people outside. Then one in Regina went good, and buddies were like, oh, and he's like, oh, we're going to do 30. So then he's like, well, can I get him for a show? So I did another one, and then Friday was gone, Saturday's gone. Another guy's like, oh, can I get a show? So I did a Sunday. I was just going to Regina, golf, and then sling afternoon or backyard show. So, and then Zoom gigs. God, those are fantastic.
I was gonna ask you.
Those gotta suck.
Like, how do you even get into it when you can't even see?
And
you don't even know if they're laughing.
So some of them would put their video on, and it was rare. And then they wouldn't even have their volume on because there'd be feedback. So literally, I'm just talking into a computer screen, hoping the Wi-Fi is not cutting out. And I'm just like, wow, what a weird hour this would be. Like, and then I get an email later, like, hey, where were you?
Fuck, that'd be the worst.
Yeah, so you just
Did you ever have anything like that happen?
No, they all went pretty good. And then I got like really busy with them. Like, say you do one it'd be weird things. Like, say you would have April, like accountants all have their parties. They blow out, they're done, the tax season's done.
Yeah.
So I did one Myers North Penny and it went good, like say Calgary branch, and then they let Edmonton know, and then Leduc know, and then it kept like branching out, and then I'm in Brandon. Well, I'm in my parents' basement actually. And then I ended up doing like a gazillion of these Zoom gigs like in April for all these accountants. And now I'm doing like 2 or 3 a day. I was like, this is the most money I've ever made.
Really?
Yeah. So it went from like, people are like, are you going to be homeless soon? And then I just let it bite my tongue. Like, actually, things are going really good. And zero travel, man.
Why are you doing them out of your parents' basement?
Oh, I live on an acreage. The sketchiest Wi-Fi ever. No Wi-Fi. And I've got 4 kids running around, but I don't know. I think my dad talking is the worst because he's on the phone constantly. Guy doesn't text. He just talks full blast upstairs like, Murray and Imperial. Jesus Christ. And I was like, I'm trying to do a Zoom gig while Kenny's full blast upstairs. Yeah.
Do you ever have your family members or friends on your podcast?
Yeah.
Or who do you typically get as guests?
I have my friends on there because my friends all played hockey, so we'll go through, like, say I'll have Chris Thompson. Like, I've had like famous guys, like, so I started with like Graham Dillette, PGA golfer, then I went to like Scotty Hartnell. You go through the guys
right
that you know, and then I went to Afghanistan with like Tim Hicks, country music singer, and then Natasha Stanishevsky. And then I had like Chris Thompson, who's just a buddy of mine, but played a bunch of pro. But he's a huge asshole. So and he was known as like the biggest asshole in hockey. So that's how we built that one. And he had like the most listens out of them all, like because he has great stories too. So
yeah.
And then I had one
assholes
that was
usually do.
Yeah. and then I had one with like me and my best friends, and Thompson was a part of it, and we were all like drinking. And that's what I wanted my podcast to be, was like people like, it feels like we're just drinking with you. And it's like, okay, that's what I wanted. Like you just wanted people to have a beer and listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what our vibe is.
But it was so offside that like their boss said, "Hey man,
could
you take that down? Like you guys are professionals." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I don't want to throw my buddies under the bus, losing jobs because it was just like us talking, except now it's being recorded, it's being out there." So I was like, okay, maybe that's right.
You do have to kind of watch what you say, especially the higher profile you get. You got to watch what you say a little bit. Do you find that, like, even in your comedy shows, do you have to like read your crowd, but do you ever find yourself censoring yourself and what you think is funny?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially when I do so much corporate work that it's before I even go there, and so many shows will have a comic that swore and did all this, and I was like, man, I've been doing this for so long, it's just a switch. I was like, okay, I'm doing a corporate show, I won't swear, I won't do that. It's like talking to my mom. You know when you're like, holy fucking, you're drinking with your buddy, and then you go and you visit with your mom, and you're like, you don't talk like that.
Yeah.
So it's
you tell the same story, but you kind of dial it down a bit.
Exactly. Like people like, you do the same thing each play. You can almost do the same thing that could be in a bar to that, but you cut certain things out. Like, okay, that'll be offside, that won't be. And so I almost like it that most comics can't do corporate. I was like, okay, more work for me. I don't care. And like a lot of comics said, I hated the Zoom. I was like, I've been on the road 20 years, and all of a sudden I'm home all the time, like going to my parents' house. And then my dad's always drinking whiskey, so I'd be up in the green rooms, my parents' house, drinking whiskey, going down there. And as bad as it was that you didn't have the rush of a good show, it was almost like practice. You know, like everyone wants to play in a hockey game, but you don't get to play games every day, so you'd have practice. So it'd be like, as I was doing it, you'd have to wait, like, okay, they should be laughing here. So it's like, in my head, I was like, holy God, maybe I'm getting better at stand-up because now my timing should be better. So it's like, I was like, I counted as a year of doing hockey. It was almost like the kids. My boys never played hockey last year, but they practiced. So it's like I'm practicing, but I'm not playing games. So I just took it. It is what it is. It's like, and people are like, don't you miss the stage? I was like, I don't know. I guess those are more fun, but.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the rush of being on stage, because that's got to be a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's weird. It's different from when you first start to as you keep going and evolving. Like at the beginning, you'll get a rush from being on stage and maybe like a joke or two hits, and you're like, holy man. And if like nowadays, if my set was that bad, I'd want to shoot myself. So then it evolves, and then say you get good at some bits, and then they do good, and then you're in your head, you don't have as much of a rush because you're like, yeah, that should work. I've been doing that a long time. And then now the rush is when you're on stage and you're riffing or you're telling something new. and then it gets a huge pop, and then you're like, oh, fuck, that's awesome.
Mental note.
Yeah, that works. And then usually, a lot of the times, like I will do the Capital in Saskatoon, and they're like one-offs, and I should record them, but I'm lazy and I can't listen to myself. So I'll do ones where I'll do like a whole new hour, and then I'll be like on this fucking cloud of like just finding avenues, and then I'm being done, and I was like, well, I don't know what I said that night, but I feel good. Like, that was fun, but I was like...
You don't listen to yourself back?
Never.
Why?
I hate... If I listen to myself, I'll want to quit. I had Just for Laughs in my second year, and we had Jimmy Kimmel wanted us on, and he wanted this certain bit.
Your second year of comedy?
Yeah, it moved real fast. Yeah, I got... And I had this one bit that was... that Kimmel guy, like, followed us around Just for Laughs. And I thought, oh, this is what everyone gets. It's big here. I was like, no, I had a huge Just for Laughs. Like, we had all this interest from Happy Madison, all these different avenues.
Wow.
And they wanted a video, and I went straight from Montreal, and I went to New York. And you can feel out the crowd. Like, Kimmel wanted this certain bit, and I was like, well, it feels like I'll have to force it on this crowd because it's a high energy, and it just felt like a mellow Wednesday crowd in New York. So I, like, recorded it, and, like, I watched, like, 2 minutes of it. It wasn't even, it was like, oh, I can't send that. And then I record it, but then I'm back in Saskatchewan, and I'm at, like, weird venues. Now I'm in, like, because you don't do comedy clubs, because I'm still 2 years into it. So now I'm at, like, a fucking hall here with a camera on the side. I was like, I can't send that. And then I watched him, I couldn't listen to it, so I just never sent Kimmel the video. So I never got Kimmel because I never sent him video.
Just because you wouldn't send it.
And
Is that like one of your biggest regrets?
It's the only regret.
Yeah.
It's number one, and it still to this day drives me up the wall. Like, no Canadian had even done Kimmel at that point.
No.
You
and I was like, what a loser.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
And I would have been in the talk of everywhere because I would have got it like 2 years in. Like, most guys, like, I'm just an opener. What's going on?
I was gonna say, like, that's amazing. Your second. So how did you get into comedy? Like, you started. When did you start?
I started in university is when I started, and it was. People will shit on Saskatchewan, like, oh, how can you get into comedy? They're like, even to this day, people are like, how do you got to move? But at that point, there was comedy going on every night in like different bars. There's a guy that ran like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you could hit the road on the weekend. So, and each of those, say the Monday, you'd have all your regulars on the Monday, and then Tuesday would be the same regulars. So you'd come in there, and in, say, the big city, maybe it'd be hard to get on stage. You could do 3-5 minutes, and then maybe after a month, they let you back on, and then you do your 3 or 5 minutes, whereas we were always trying to fill time. So it'd be like, hey, can you stretch till 20? And you're like, well, I've got about 2 minutes of jokes, but okay. And then you keep coming back each week, and then you have the same regulars. And I thought, okay, they just saw me last week, now you got to do something new.
Right.
So it was like insanity for your writing. So it was like, holy man, like, you're doing nonstop new stuff. So it built so fast.
It forces you to...
So like in 9 months, I had like an hour, which...
So were you coming up with stuff while you're on stage then, in those situations?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, you would have... Because I don't write out a whole joke. I would jot note something and be like, there's something funny in here. Like, I know this is funny, but I don't know how to write out the joke.
Yeah.
So then sometimes when you're on stage and things are going good, you're like, okay, well, if I start talking about this, the crowd will almost put you down the right path of where it is in that joke. Like, there's still some jokes in my head. I was like, okay, that should be funny. And there's like 2 that I have left in my head that I just tell, and it never gets a big laugh. And I was like,
and you think it's hilarious?
Yeah, in my head I was like, I can't find where the crowd's not in on this with me. Yeah, it's one of these things I've seen, but they're not. And I was like, oh, maybe. And there's a lot of times you'll blame it on the crowd, like, nah, that crowd doesn't get it. And I was like, I'll do it again. I was like, fuck, no, I'm missing something. And then there's weird ones where you don't realize that, like, if you write it out, like, it feels like I'm writing to get to this part, and then there'll be a huge pop there, and you're like, oh, maybe that's where the punch. That's where the punchline is on that, and then maybe the other part becomes a tag that goes on to it. And like, oh, okay. So I let the crowd tell you where to go with your writing.
So how many years have you been doing it now then?
20 years.
It felt like forever. I was telling people I was in it for 2 or 3 years. It felt like for 10 years I was telling people I was in it. I remember a guy at the beginning, because I had evolved fast. He's like, don't even tell like old headlines. Like, they're not going to be impressed. They're going to be annoyed at you. So and I get that too, because if a young comic is doing really good and they just started out, I was like, fuck. Yeah. But wait, the hard road's coming. These are easy crowds. So I was like, I get what those comics were telling me now. I thought they were old bitter guys, but I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, because you're doing a crowd to young people. So like when I started out, young crowds were easier for me with an old headliner because maybe they couldn't relate as much. So I was like,
right.
in my head, I would, but I always work solo, so I don't get bitter yet, I guess.
So to you, what are the tough crowds now? Like, what's a tough crowd for you now?
Oh, so now, yeah. So I
tough
don't do a lot.
demographic.
I did a Christmas part, or like December 28th, and it was all like 20-year-olds. And my daughter's 20, and I was like, holy shit, I can't imagine. So it's some of her friends there, and I was like, and then I used to do a lot of colleges. Like I did American colleges for 9 years. So I got there, and I was like, holy shit. And I'm on stage, and you're just like, you're going through your thing like that. They won't relate to that. They won't relate to that. They won't relate. And now I'm like trying to talk about anything that's like, it's like, I don't have a TikTok joke, but I know that's all they're into. I go, like, what are they talking about here? And then I was like, okay, sex. Everyone relates to that. But then I remember at the beginning, like, oh, old young people don't want to hear dirty sex jokes from old people. I was like, fuck, am I old? Oh, no. I'm that guy before that never like just sounded like an old creep. I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, it's a good thing there's no young people in here tonight, because that's all I got is cheap laughs.
Yeah. Dick jokes and maybe odd fart joke here and there. But isn't that the thing, though? Like you said, talking to the old comics, right? And they're giving you advice. They said, "Oh, the hard road's ahead." But if you're undeniably funny, it doesn't matter.
Oh
right?
yeah, like you can see it when they're at any stage with certain people. They're just the way they are on stage. You can just see. You're like, holy shit! You can just see the potential. Like even in a young guy, like they'll do it, and you're like, oh man, like. Because some guys are so polar opposites. Like, my favorite comics are guys that aren't like me. Like, I'm a storyteller of this. Like, I like the slow, like, one-line dry guys. And I was like...
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know if I could have got work doing that. Like, say we're in this bar right here. Like, a nice small-town Sask bar that's, they're out partying like that. And I was like, you could do dry one-liners in here. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's like almost you're a product of your environment. Like... It's like everyone's drinking here. Like you got to get in that drinking party mode with them. So it's like those people are like at that. It's almost like called alt comedy, where you'll see like the weird, like a Thursday night crowd or something, or something in a big city where like, or it's Vancouver's like that lots, where you get like this vibe where it's just kind of mellow. Yeah, and you're like, oh, that's one line stuff. If everyone's listening, you can like draw it out. And then, boom, hit them with a big joke. Whereas sometimes, if you're in a bar like this and people are talking, like, I can't give them a second to talk or they'll fucking lose them. I got to hurry up and get to my partying jokes here. Yeah. So.
Well, it's, like you said, the alt comedy, it's like if you're in a bar and you're having one or two martinis and you're enjoying the evening.
Couple pints.
Yeah, couple pints.
Couple pints with your beard and your plaid shirt and you're taking it all in. I was in Calgary. I was headlining a competition. And at home, I wrote a bunch of one-liners that was like, this doesn't work for my comedy. Like, I don't know why I would tell a story, then out of the blue come up with this one weird one-liner, and it didn't go with other jokes. But I was like, I don't want to just throw them away, so I just jotted on this piece of paper, and I think I had 32 one-liners at home. And I was watching a comic named John Doerr, who's just, he does anything all the time. Like, it gets you fired up. Like, I was like, I don't want to just go do comedy and be lazy and just do nothing. Like, he does stuff. He's cutting edge all the time. So I called home and I was like, hey, I get my wife. I was like, can you take a picture of this piece of paper in this drawer? Go grab it, take a picture of it. And then I put myself in this competition with a bunch of amateurs that I'm headlining it later. And I'll like dress up. I'll get a hat. I'll get glasses. I put like a big, huge sweater on, borrowed this other guy's buddy hug, and pretended I was a one-liner comic that was incredibly nervous. Yeah. And I was fucking nervous because I've never told any of these jokes, and then I knew I couldn't go back into character, so I was like legit starting to have a panic attack. And then I went on, and I was like, well, is this gonna bomb or what? And I had to be so slow, and then the crowd like looks at me, and they're just like, holy fuck, is this guy nervous? And then I tell my first joke, and then I let it sit, and it's just quiet, and then I tell the punchline, and it was like, boom! And it just exploded, and I was like, whoo! And then it's almost like I wanted to get into my excited self, and then I did my next one, slow again, and then pause, and then like, boom! And it was like, whoo! It was like I killed, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have trouble following myself. I was like, oh my God. So I told the guy, I said, say you can't, I'll say my last joke will be dishwasher, and then put in the rules, because they've got like 8 judges or 10 judges around the crowd that they handed out clipboards, and I said, say my last joke will be dishwasher, say you get kicked out of the competition if you say dishwasher. So I say dishwasher. Then it's like, oh, he's out. You can't say that. So I'm out. So then later on, I take off my stuff. I headline the show. I'm sitting at the bar after, and people are coming up and talking to the guy who's producing this competition and festival. Like, hey, man. And my name was Carlos Pippen. I don't know why I picked Carlos Pippen. And they're like, hey, man, that's brutal. Carlos Pippen won this thing. And I got like all the bill things. They're like, best comic. And then I was like, oh. And the guy looks, he's like, fuck, man, this is Carlos Pippen. But it was magic in a bottle, because like I did it in Winnipeg after that, and it didn't feel the same. So I was like, well, and then I've probably done them 4 times ever, but it was never as magical as the first time.
First time, because your nervousness was probably like authentic too, right?
Super authentic, because I knew I couldn't even go into my own thing, because I was like, hey. I was like,
But did you try to do the character every other time you did that show? Like maybe the character was the magic.
Oh yeah, because the character like rubbed. And there was a comic I watched and he was so nervous, like he just did this, so I like almost took that from him, like just standing like in an absolute stiff as a board, and I like read jokes off the thing. And
well, okay, so you must study other comics a lot then. It sounds like you pick up
that was just
nuances.
No, that was from watching this real weird bad comic. I don't watch. I'm not gonna say none, but I watch very little stand up. There's a few guys, as soon as they release it, I'll watch, like John Doerr, this Canadian guy. There's a guy, Mike Birbiglia. I just watched Jimmy Carr. He's a British guy, very offside, and I wanted to see how offside it was. Is great. But Norm Macdonald. Well, that won't be happening anymore. But Norm. Yeah. So there's only a few I really watched, and then after that, like people are like, do you just watch comedy after you're done? No, I usually watch murder. I usually go and watch some serial killers. Is what I'm into. Murder and war.
War document. World War II in color.
Oh, the greatest events is the better. Yeah. It's better than. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Well, what's the worst you've ever bombed? Do you have like an absolute terrible story?
2. Well, 3, I guess. 3.
What's the first time you ever bombed, and how did it feel?
Oh fuck! The worst one. Okay, so. It was like I was just started out. Like, I mean, a month and a half, or like 2 months, less than 2 months. And I was a filthy bar comic. And then someone was having a retirement part or an 80th or something. And they just thought, they wanted a comic. But people don't realize, like, he just started, he's in bars. So I had no real, and I didn't even realize it. And I was like, okay, because I was getting $100. And I was like, I wasn't getting any money before. Like, I was just going to the bar, getting 2 beers a show. So I was like,
and what age was this?
24.
Okay.
So 23, 24. So I go to this thing, and it was like I tell a joke, and it's just silence. It's just people like sitting there. I was like, well.
You're like, what?
Oh, okay. And then another silent. And then I absolutely had nothing left. Like, I was like, okay, now I'm just going to walk off stage. And I was like, fuck, I had nothing. I panicked. And I like blanked out. And then I was like, well, what? And I was like, and the only thing that could pop in my head was a street joke. And you can't do street jokes as a stand-up
What's a street joke?
Street joke just is like anything that anybody would tell? Will tell, like an old recycled joke. But you can't do that as a stand-up.
Right.
If you're a legit stand-up, So a street joke popped into my head, and it was just the worst part, it was a super dirty street joke, and they were already like, what is this guy talking about? And the street joke was like, what's the difference between Michael Jackson and acne? And then it was like just silence, and looking at me, it was like, acne comes on your face after you're 12. And then I walked off, and my buddy drove the roster. Yeah, my buddy drove to me to Roston, so he's dying because he's like, that was the biggest train wreck ever. And the guy gives me the $100. I felt so bad, so I started giving him a 20 back. I was like, I feel bad. And then I gave him another 20, and then my buddy got his hand. He's like, that's it. Okay, no, you can't give any more money back. You can't get. So I took home 60 and
60 votes.
And then I did.
But okay, after that happens, then what is the conversation you have with yourself about getting back on stage after that?
Then it gets you just say, okay, I can't do that. Like, I can't do corporate shows. I have to do bar shows. But then after a while, you realize, okay, I need to make money. And a guy told me when I first started out, he goes, if you get clean, he goes, the sky's the limit for money if you're clean.
Yeah.
And I thought he was just saying that because I was doing good as a dirty comic, but no, it was the truth.
Yeah.
So
do you have, like, what do you prefer? Like, do you like a good dirty show, though? Do you find the laughs are bigger at a dirty show?
The difference between a dirty, like, I don't care if I have to be clean, but the difference between a dirty show and a clean show is a dirty show, I don't have to think about anything, and I can pick what I want. Like, there's times where you can be doing a show that should be dirty, but it has to be squeaky clean. Like, say you're doing a Christmas party and it's oil riggers, except you've got the high-end boss and you got those people. Yeah. So those are the people that are cutting this big check, and they've got a bunch of rig guys, and you're like, well, these guys want to hear dick jokes, but then you're just eating it for. You have to be incredibly funny as a clean comic and try to get them on board. Yeah. So that's, even though the show should go that way, it has to go that way. So I like. It isn't as much dirty, or just, I like just being able to talk about anything. Like, that's why the show I do in Saskatoon is I usually catch a real good buzz and just fuck around the whole time, and that's what I like doing.
Well, tonight is going to be one of those nights, because these people, we first off, we constructed a good audience.
Yeah, it looks like
it's a good audience.
Well, we didn't really construct the audience. We put tickets for sale and it's sold out because everybody's so desperate for something to do.
Everybody wants to laugh. Yeah. They want to come out. A lot of these people haven't been in the bar in a year and a half.
You know what I'm noticing too from COVID is the crowds are becoming, they're better at listening, it seems like. Like, I'm doing shows, which silence is golden. People are like, oh, it's like, if the crowd's actually all quiet, that means they're all listening. Except if they're silent the whole show, no, that's shit. Don't get me wrong. But like, I'm noticing doing shows where it's like I can talk and then I can bring it down. It's like, oh my God, no one's talking. This is the fucking best. This is the best right now.
When they're engaged and they're hanging on your every word. Mm-hmm. I getcha. So where do you find most of your material? Just in everyday life?
Yeah, you never know what's going to be fun. You just live life. Like, I don't sit down and make an effort to really write, unless there's certain things you have to do. Like, Winnipeg Comedy Festival will give you a theme, so then you just make jot notes of like, okay, like this year they had one for outdoors, and it's like, oh my God, I've got a camping bit, so this is like a cheat year. So I just sent that one in. But then there's other things, they'll give you different themes, or you do like a CBC debaters where they'll give you a subject that you have to debate, which is good, I guess. Then I'm not as lazy. Then I got to actually sit down and write it out.
You get assignments? Comedy assignments.
Yeah, and it feels like, so I'm doing the Halifax Comedy Festival too, and they want to know what our set is, so I have to write it in. And that's funny, I just told my wife, I said, this feels like fucking homework, because every other comic can sit on a keyboard and where I was like, oh man, I can barely read and write. This is going to be like a month fucking work for me. This is brutal.
Do you ever hear any other comedians recycling your material? Does that ever happen?
Not really. No. One, I'm such a if it would be, it'd just be someone from Sask that I wouldn't be on the show with, so they might be doing it. There was a close thing to a few jokes I had. There was one guy in Saskatoon but he got caught, like, he just started out, and then he was like, after a few times, like, holy fuck, is he ever good? Like, whoa, man, that bit's unreal. It was just, and then I watched Jim Jeffries. He was just doing like a famous comic. And I was like, oh my God, no wonder why.
With a Canadian accent, dude, Jim Jeffries.
No, he was Irish. He was guy. So he actually had and he wore like a leather coat and like played the whole Jim Jeffries role. And then I guess he would just handpick anything from when he wasn't, like, so he wouldn't do it in front of me, but then you could just take him from anywhere. But I don't know, unless someone's going to have 4 kids and live in Sask. And just, the thing is, all my stuff is usually just real life stuff. If you're you tell, like, I don't know, I don't do like political thing or this or where everyone can talk about. There's maybe a drinking and driving commercial, because it's a commercial that was set like this, where I was listening to someone, but he was in a completely different city. Like, oh, look at us thinking the exact same premise, but I knew it wasn't stolen. It's
it's
just the same thing.
You get to the end. There's probably a lot of that in the industry where you just get to the same thought and same premise.
Oh yeah, like there's some things that happen right there, and you know everyone's going to be talking about it. Like, okay, everyone will be talking about that.
Well, and comedians think a lot alike because they're all trying to be funny, and they're funny people.
And you're trying to relate to something that somebody else is going to think is funny. So obviously, that's how she goes. Well, do you have any? I mentioned to you earlier that Steve and I are.
Oh, you did tell him?
I can't wait.
Doing a 5-minute bit. Do you have any advice for us?
Well, enjoy it. Like, at 5 minutes so just enjoy it. You don't have to stress. Like, a 5-minute thing is always nice, because you're like, Okay, it's 5 and done. I think when people tell, because we're doing a Just for Laughs showcase, there's one comic in Saskatchewan that like asks the advice, and I was like, okay, yeah, like, and he's like, should I do this? And I said, the beauty of you is you don't talk fast. He's a very monotone, slow talker, and I said, if I have advice, and they would always tell this to me when I started out, if you're showcasing that, and you have to showcase like a 7-minute bit or 5-minute bit, don't try to put 8 or 9 minutes into that 7-minute bit. Put in 5 minutes, talk slower, let them laugh, and then come back. But it's so hard because you're like, oh, what if this is the joke that does it? What if this? Yeah. Which I don't know. You guys are just starting out, and you're not gonna have someone timing you saying that's over 5-7 minutes. You're losing points for your TV air horn, your TV taping, and that. So that, and then he was doing a thing, and he's like, should I do the PA joke? I said, I go, that PA. He talks about getting out of an escape room in PA, but you realize you're still in PA. It's funny. It always gets a big laugh. But I said, and he goes, will that be regional? I said, yeah. I go, that's funny. You'll get a laugh that night for sure in Saskatoon. But if you have the Just for Laughs booker there, that won't translate. So even though, and I said, yeah, that's exactly. So advice for like showcasing and different things like that I give you, but for you guys, have fun, and no one's timing. I'm not gonna. Yeah. You guys aren't getting the scorecard or anything, God, so have fun.
I get it's always been on my bucket list of things to do to try stand-up comedy.
Oh, well, that's great.
So I thought, what better way to build my own show?
And they will come.
Through 5 minutes, I can just fuck off off the stage if it's going bad.
And the thing is, if it goes good, great. You'll be on a buzz all night.
Yeah.
If it goes bad, hopefully they forget it by the end of the night.
If it goes
they're going to be hammered.
You're coming on after to clean up the mess.
Except your brother will be here and he'll bug you forever. I see him now.
We're going to go out and sacrifice a couple puppies, talk about Satan for 20 minutes, and then bring you on.
We'll just pave the way for you.
I got one of my favorite comics is a Canadian guy, Sean LeCumber. He always talks about having a bad set. He's like, fuck, man, I might be having a toaster bath after this. I like to bring a long extension cord just in case.
But I mean, that's what I'm fascinated by is like how you can totally bomb and fall flat on your face and want to get back out there again.
Oh, I know guys. There's a guy I know that bombs all the time and keeps going back on. I was like, I would quit.
I guess once you bomb, though, it probably takes the fear away.
No, it fucking always sucks.
Make it worse?
Bomb would suck every time.
But now I've been doing it so long, a bomb is usually, I blame it on a bad setup. Like you can go, like if you're in a comedy club, it's set up for comedy. You know, you have good stage, you have good lighting, you have good sound. There's times when you're doing a corporate event and they're not properly set up. So you're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to eat shit in here. Because like I did one where they had me behind a buffet table. Like they had the buffet table out. I was behind it. There was no light, so it was actually dark right there. And then she didn't even have a sound system. She's like, she just looked at me. She's like, it's not a big room. I didn't think you'd need sound.
Oh, my God.
I was like, so you're just set up to fail. Like, you can't do anything. So it's like, one, I have a table in front, like a buffet table. Two, I'm in the dark, so people can't even see me. And now, like, they're all drinking after a golf tournament. And so that's a bomb that's not your fault. You're like, oh, God, this is brutal.
That's funny.
It wasn't then. That's why I like, and then when you get to that point, you'll get, I finally, after 19 years, I bought a sound system and have a light. So at the last second, I always just throw in the trunk and do it.
Emergency.
We did it. We're doing like a super high-end NHL celebrity golf tournament, and went in the hotel. The sound was horrendous, and now you're getting a big check and you look like shit. So I was like, right before it started, I ran out, got my own
speaker.
sound. I was like, it's way better.
That's awesome. So for tonight, like, do you want the lights off? Do you want to see the crowd, or do you want the lights dim?
See, that's the old in between. Because when it's dark, when the crowd's darker, they'll laugh easier. Sometimes when the lights on, they'll hold back laughter.
Yeah, because they'll look at the other people.
Yeah, so you want
dim.
You want dim. And then it sets a mood too. Like if all the lights are on, their focus isn't on you. So if you have it all dark and a light on stage, and then it's just the way it is, it draws people's attention to there. That's the thing about stand-up. There's so many little things, like a low roof. Like this is great. So a low roof. People are like, why does the roof? Like laughter stays in here and it goes like that. Like you can do great, and if you have a high roof, it's like all the sound goes up, and you can do great. You can kill, and it doesn't sound like you're killing.
Yeah.
So there's weird little things like that. Like people who aren't in stand-up, like, what? You want a low roof? Like, fucking right. Yeah. And like, how close do you want the tables? Like you'll do a Christmas court, but they want to keep the dance floor open. So we call that in comedy like a death moat. Like that's where the jokes go to die.
Death moat?
Because they get there and it's just fucking done. Like you want the stage when you set up comedy, like ideally you'd I'm kind of away in the corner, so you'd want to be like probably there and push it that way to everyone. Or there, but this is still pretty close. You want stage tables super close, dim lights, bright on stage, low roof, and people tight to each other. Because laughter is contagious. So if you're on top of each other, like shoulder to shoulder, it's more conducive to laughter.
Do you ever not pick on anybody? I guess pick on maybe a bad word, but engage with anyone in the audience and have any? Did you ever have a time where you picked somebody out and you had the most hilarious exchange?
Oh, I'm trying to. There's been a couple where you couldn't even script them better, and those are the nights where you have the adrenaline rush of like, oh man, we couldn't script that any better.
Yeah.
Like, that was pure fucking magic. Like we're saying this, and then it goes into something else, and then a callback, and then ending the night on like this guy to this, and then it came like full circle, and you get off stage, and you're just like, oh fuck, I could I could die tonight. I could die tonight. It's not getting better than that.
That's great.
Well, hopefully all goes well. And we should wrap it up, and we'll get to the show.
Okay.
I'm shitting my pants, but I'll
survive. I love that you guys are doing this.
I'm a graceful bomber. I know I'm gonna bomb.
I'll go down in flames hard.
Yeah. So we're gonna take all this stuff off the stage, and we'll set it up and get the lights turned down. And
oh, this is gonna be awesome! I can't wait, guys. I wish I was guzzling right now, but I'm not. I'm doing a winter triathlon tomorrow. I don't.
Oh, that sounds like no
And I've got a COVID. Like I just got over COVID, and my lungs are like, fuck. I'm winded going up a flight of stairs.
And you're doing a triathlon.
So you're not going to do well in the triathlon.
I won't be doing. I'm not there to win it.
You might as well have a couple shots tonight.
Oh no! Oh, has anyone never not been pulled over on the way from Melford to Tisdale? Every fucking
Did
time.
you get
Star
pulled
City
over?
Hill.
Oh no! There's
Star City
RCs. Got guys pulled over, and then we played in Tisdale twice this year. Both times, and pulled over here, and then there's another one 5 minutes later.
It's stupid.
Whoever those RCs, they just love it right there.
Well, they're not here tonight. We're going to be having a good time.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up,
Let's
Steve.
It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Okay.
Boom.